The following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Prime Minister declares Venezuelan baby's demise a regrettable accident by Coast Guards carrying out reasonable orders, and blasts opposition leader as unpatriotic. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has said that the shooting death of a Venezuelan baby by the Coast Guard on Saturday was an accident, and added that the Coast Guard members were carrying out reasonable and professional orders under international protocols and law. Baby Ya Elvis Santoyo and his mother Dari Elvis Iliagne Sarabia were illegally entering TNT on Saturday night from Tucupita when they were ordered to stop by the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard said the vessel did not stop and attempted to ram their vessel when they opened fire. Dr. Rowley made his comment on a Facebook post as he sought to criticize opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who on Monday night berated the Coast Guard for the shooting of the baby. "It was an accident," Dr. Rowley said, using all capital letters. Kamla Persad-Bissessar publicly accused the Coast Guard officers of homicide. According to her, the craft should have been allowed to evade the border patrol. "They should have known that there was an endangered baby on board. We regret the terrible loss of that innocent infant. But what should we think of the opportunistic, shameless, attention-seeking lady who is so bereft of any scintilla of patriotism?" he added. Dr. Rowley accused the opposition leader of having limboed to a new, expected, disgusting low. "We are inundated with guns, ammunition, and trafficked humans across that border. Our Border Patrol attempts to stop a craft that refused to comply and acted aggressively towards lawful, reasonable, and professional orders under international protocols and law. Our officer on patrol under professional orders attempted to disable the craft in the darkness of the ocean. The craft could easily have been carrying any cargo of guns, ammunition, criminals, or anything on the move. There was an accident in which, unfortunately, a passenger child was regrettably erased," he said. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has asked for an exhaustive investigation into the shooting, and the United Nations has also spoken out against it. On Tuesday, dozens of Venezuelans protested in front of the Trinidad and Tobago Embassy in Caracas, Venezuela, condemning the shooting as a felony. Minister of Security says an investigation has been launched into the unfortunate death of a Venezuelan child. The TNT Coast Guard TTCG and the TNT Police Service TTPS have embarked on investigations arising from last Saturday's unfortunate incident involving a Coast Guard vessel and a Venezuelan vessel, which resulted in a Venezuelan child meeting his demise. National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hinds stated this in the Senate yesterday, expressing deepest condolences to the child's parents. Hinds was responding to a query from UNC Senator Wade Mark whether an investigation has been launched into the circumstance of the death of a 9-month-old baby aboard a vessel off TNT waters last weekend. The infant was with others in a boat which the Coast Guard said it detected had crossed the borders into TNT waters. Speaking in the Senate, Hinds said last Saturday the TTCG vessel, TTS Scarborough, was indeed involved in an incident out at sea. Unfortunately, coming out of this incident, it was discovered that a child met his demise. I express very sincere condolences to the parents of this child and, of course, to the government and people of Venezuela, as it has since been determined that all the occupants on the vessel that approached TNT without authority or notice to the state were in fact Venezuelan," Hinds added. "From the information available to me, the TTCG and most certainly the TNT Police Service have embarked upon investigations arising from this unfortunate incident." The Caribbean Center for Human Rights said in a statement yesterday. The report by the Coast Guard about the circumstances that led to this deeply tragic event raises a number of questions about how the events unfolded. We recognize that the TNT government is entitled to exercise its sovereignty and to protect national security and secure the nation's borders. However, this must be done in accordance with our obligations under international law and ensuring the rights of migrants and refugees are protected. The protection of migrant and refugee rights is not incompatible with the protection of national security. The CCHR repeated its call for government to engage with the international community for support with technical guidance and resources to better respond to the needs of migrants and refugees and protect the human rights of vulnerable persons. Three men held for homicide of jewelry store worker. 3 men have been arrested following a manhunt for 4 suspects involved in the homicide of jewelry store worker Andy Hosin during a robbery at his workplace in San Fernando on Saturday. Police said yesterday that a firearm and a quantity of narcotics were also seized and jewelry recovered. A statement by police said that acting on information, Southern Division police officers mounted several exercises and searches which resulted in the arrest of 3 male suspects, ages 23, 28, and 31, all of Kings Wharf, San Fernando. During the operation, police officers allegedly seized a firearm and 5.56 kilograms of marijuana, 304 grams of cocaine, and an assortment of jewelry. The suspects are now in custody and are being interrogated by Homicide Bureau of Investigations detectives. Saddened and appalled by the brazen homicide, the San Fernando Greater Area Chamber has set up a candlelight vigil on the pavement close to where Hosin took his last breath. Chamber President Kiran Singh said he did this to show that people in the South are not taking this homicide lightly and that they want justice. A framed photograph of Hosin, several candles and a bouquet were placed on a white piece of cloth on the pavement on High Street, mere feet from where Hosin died. "We want justice" was written on a placard that was attached to the burglar-proof bars of the building. Hosin, 33, who lived and taught at a university and school in Venezuela, began working in Trinidad due to the economic crisis in his country. Hosin, who also has Trinidadian citizenship, returned to Trinidad in November and began working at Keaton's Jewelers. However, shortly before 11 a.m. on Saturday, 4 men ran into the business place and began smashing the showcases and grabbing jewelry. Hosin, who was close to the door, tried to run and was shot in the back. In an interview, Kiran Singh said that the candlelight vigil was symbolic to bring justice for this innocent man. Following the incident, he said Police Commissioner McDonald Jacob met with him and San Fernando Mayor Junior Regrello on Saturday and Tuesday. He said the commissioner assured that there will be increased police presence on the streets and his officers will be more vigilant. Noting that he and the mayor also met with the TTPS and municipal police in San Fernando, he said these meetings have yielded results. On the evening of Tuesday, we can see that there is still a police presence which was somewhat lacking and absent for some time in the afternoons and Saturday, and our discussions and negotiations have yielded positive results where we are now seeing a heavier presence, foot patrols, especially, which is a heavy deterrent to the criminal element in downtown San Fernando. He said this will augur well in returning business and customer confidence in San Fernando. noting that people in the South used to boast about a low crime level. He said these acts must be stopped by the criminal elements that have infiltrated San Fernando and the southern region, and certainly we will continue to work with them to ensure that this does not continue. Singh also said they intend to continue the Candlelight Vigil. We will continue with this vigil to remind the public and those criminals that the southern community, businesses, pedestrians, shoppers, ordinary citizens on the streets are not taking the criminal and evil act by bandits to go unnoticed. We will keep this vigil going for a long time. My message to the criminals is go and get a job. If Venezuelans could come here and work and earn a decent living, certainly there is no reason and excuse why Trinidadians cannot get a job to take care of themselves instead of robbing innocent businesses, persons, and those who are working hard to live, he added. Candlelight Vigil held in memory of Keithisha Cujoe. The vigil was held at the Queen's Park Savannah in Port of Spain from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. with a handful of friends and family. Cujoe's family had been calling for justice since her death, although some have said they are doubtful they will get it. During an interview last night, Cujoe's aunt Zenea became emotional when she spoke of how Cujoe's 3-year-old would be asking for his mother every day and every night. It's hard to believe that we have people in our society that can violate somebody in that way. And what is the word safe? How do you be more safe? What? We lock ourselves in little rooms, glass box, have somebody tote us everywhere? Get security guards? That's where we are as a society? Zenea said she believes that there is need to start over from the foundation. You have to love our kids more. Be a little more patient with them because remember, what we produce is what we send out. She thanked everyone who came together and had vigils on their own in memory of her sweet niece. The vigil ended with a walk around the savannah. An autopsy done on the body of Kathisha last Friday was inconclusive on the cause of death due to the advanced state of decomposition. Keithisha Cujoe, 21, who was originally from Upper Covine Road, went missing from her home on January 24. However, an official missing persons report was filed by relatives on January 29, the day after a decomposing body was found in the heights of Oripo on January 28. That decomposing body was identified as Cujoe's last Tuesday by her relatives using her shoes, glasses, and bits of clothing. Police said investigations into Cujoe's disappearance and death are still active and added that one person has since been detained for questioning. However, investigators are asking members of the public who may have information to contact them at 999-555-800-TIPS or via the TTPS app. I do believe the government should consider doing some form of development in the heights of Oripo or clearing some of the land to deny these criminals the opportunity to use it as a dumping ground for their innocent victims.